now in the bottom three after Friday night's defeat that you mentioned before at home to Milan. James, you were there.
I was. It's a sort of ludicrous occasion, really. I mean, I've never seen a fan base get so excited by someone who's on loan, and Roma don't have an option to sign him. It's negotiated.
Can't imagine it'll be a problem though.
I can, because of financial fair play.
Yeah, okay.
Because of Chelsea drove quite a hard bargain. There's been a lot made that Lukaku's taken a wage cut to go to Roma, and he's getting paid €7.5 million a year, which is puts him by far the highest paid player at the club. And I think if Osimhen signs unless Osimhen signs a new contract, he's probably the highest paid player at Serie A at this moment in time. But the reality is that Chelsea paid his wages in July and August, so he hasn't taken much of a pay cut at all. So I can't see how Roma take on that salary. How they
no, but from Chelsea's point of view, I meant it wouldn't be a problem if they did want to convert the loan. Wouldn't Chelsea be delighted to get him off their book?
They would, but they were delighted that Inter wanted to sign him on a permanent basis, but Inter are in financial fair play hell. And their offer was considered not good enough, and Roma in financial fair play hell. So I just don't see, unless they qualify for Champions League, I don't see how they could afford him. And I mean, Roma are always a club that, but certainly in the past, they would say don't get attached to players in the modern age. And Lukaku, even if you have him on a permanent basis, you shouldn't get attached to him because he'll find a way to leave you anyway. So. So I found it a little bit ludicrous.
Okay, well, things got underway with Loftus-Cheek winning a penalty, which Olivier Giroud converted. Then there was the fabulous Leao goal, and then Fikayo Tomori got a red card an hour in. Remember, with a man advantage. Then bringing on Lukaku for the last 20 minutes. Did they improve with the big fella?
He made an instant impact. I mean, again. He was on the sideline for about 2 minutes waiting to come on, and he was barking out orders to his new teammates and telling them to get forward, which I was kind of like, he wasn't going in on the tips of his toes, if you like. He had a shot immediately, but I think they defended him pretty well. I mean, there'd been these rumours on the grapevine that he had 20 minutes in him, which was a bit of a surprise in itself, considering he'd had no pre-season, not played at all in a friendly. He had, I think, very few training sessions with Roma. But you could see, they didn't really have a focal point up until that point. But at the same time, on watching the first hour, you're like, even with Lukaku in this team, the way Roma were getting service to Belotti or not getting service to him, you're like, it's actually going to be pretty tough for a striker in this team when all you're doing is having centre-backs launch it.
But that's what they're going to do even more with Lukaku, right? Because
I would think so.
That's not really going to help him either.
No, and I think Roma have quite a lot of quality to be able to do more in possession. When you've got the likes of Paulo Dybala, who, to be frank, wasn't fit for the game on Friday. But you've got Lorenzo Pellegrini, you've got Aouar, Spinazzola, Cristante even. You've got players who can pass, can help you sustain possession in the final third, and they just don't seem to have any patterns of play.
Remind me, who's the manager again? Jose Mourinho. Now, so far, Jose's been the Teflon one there in the Eternal City. Is there any sense that could start to change? I mean, it's early, but they are in the bottom three. They have made big signings. Well, a big signing in Lukaku.
Well, I mean, he's in the last year of his contract, and at the moment there's no news on him signing a new one. I think it was quite interesting being at the stadium because there was a lot of enthusiasm. Again, as I said, another sellout. The players weren't whistled or booed off at half-time when they were 1-0 down. There were no chants against the players, no chants against the manager. No banners against him either. So I think the match-going fans are still on board with Jose, and certainly there was still this afterglow of signing Lukaku a year after signing Dybala, and I think there's an acknowledgement that the club is in a lot of financial fair play pain, which is kind of down to the spend that they had in the first summer of Mourinho. 110 million net. They didn't bother trying to recoup any of that money, and now they find themselves sort of straitjacketed in this settlement agreement. But I think there's still this feeling among fans that they're lucky to have Jose. He's brought success, and these star players, Dybala and Lukaku, who are stars in Serie A, wouldn't come to the club without him. And but he was still getting slaughtered on the radios,
right?
On Saturday.
He was,
yeah.
He didn't turn up for the post-game press conference.
In the press conference room, there was a lot of kind of grumbling and like "porca miseria," sort of, in him not showing,
right?
Because there was no reason given.
He doesn't send a Caranca type man.
No, usually because they're all suspended.
Right.
But,
fair enough.
But no, I mean, he usually gives a reason, or someone comes in and briefs the reason, which is he was disappointed by the refereeing. And this time, nothing.
The Totally Football Show podcast is available 3 times a week, bringing you all the football news you could reasonably be expected to care about. We've got views, we've got stats, we've got analysis, we've got some of the best football writers around, and the whole thing is absolutely free. So have a listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or all the usual places by clicking on the link below.